everyone, I'm Nekima Horton, and I'm so excited to be a part of the Empower series today. Today, on this beautiful day, we are going to talk about for-profit and nonprofit businesses, what that looks like and how to build it. I'm going to give you some really good nuggets on what you need to do to prepare yourself to get ready for your business, knowing the difference between your passion and your purpose. There is a difference, so come today so I can give you their nuggets. It starts with the changing of their mind, and the number one thing is the ability to show up no matter what. So we hope to see you today. It's gonna be good. All my Repo chicks, I need you here.
I mentioned on yesterday, I've been inspired by hearing her story. When I see a lot of speakers, and I'm inspired by somebody who's bold and daring enough to take action on their ideas. And she's going to share with you some tips, and she's going to give you some inspiration to take action on your ideas. And another friend of mine told me when I was having a down day, he said that, hey, even on my worst day, I'm the greatest.
Absolutely.
And I would tell you that even on your worst day, you're still God's greatest miracle. Hold on to that. Be inspired, be intentional, believe in what you wrote down, and I want you to give a warm welcome and love to our speaker today, Miss Nekima Horton. Thank you.
Oh, that's hilarious. So I don't know how I got my assistant's phone number mixed up with his, I don't know. But I thought I was texting her, and I said, well, thank God I keep things professional. I didn't say anything crazy. But when he picked up the phone, I was thinking, oh, she got this man answering the phone. Who is this? And it was just hilarious, and things just worked out. So I'm going to go a little further and tell you a really funny, the first time we actually met. So we were downtown, and he says, well, you know, what are you doing? Let's sit down and talk. And I said, sure, I'm heading to a conference, but I have some time, so come on down. So he comes down, and, you know, one thing happened, and he says, well, we decided we were going to reschedule. And he says, well, can you meet me around the corner, and can I get a ride? First of all, this man didn't call me on my direct number. And so I said, a ride? He said, yeah, and I said, okay. So I was like, all right, well, let me see how I feel about this. I don't know this man. So I come around the corner, and there he's standing. So he's like, is this okay? I said, just know that I'm certified. Get in here and try something if you want to. You're going to get this high lead. I ain't had nothing in my car, but he needed to believe I had something in my car. And so, with that passion, I think he believed it too, because he was probably thinking, wait a minute, this girl a little crazy. And so with that same passion that I looked at this man who was way bigger than me and told him, try something if you want to. That's the same passion that you need to have about your dreams and what you want to do. So I'm not going to go over everything that I went over yesterday, so if you missed it, tragic, but I will give you a quick overview. So as he said, my name is Nekima Horton. I'm from Seattle, Washington, and we moved here about 9 years ago. And I came out of school, Louisiana Tech University, and my major was sociology and English. Now, I was a pre-law student at first, and I remember calling my beautiful mother who's sitting here. Everybody give my mom a hand clap, will you? And my whole life, I only wanted to be a lawyer. That's it. I was going to be this powerhouse attorney because I could argue. I still do it to this day. And so I wanted to be a lawyer. So I went to school, and I wanted to do political science, pre-law, and that's what I was doing. My sophomore year, I called and I said, Mom, I'm changing my major to sociology. Everyone had a fit. Now, no offense if you're a jock in here, but they was like, that's the jock major. Sociology? Are you crazy? What is wrong with you? But I knew what I knew, and I knew what God had been leading me to do. And so I said, I'm going to do it anyway. And so my minor was English, and then I went on to get my master's in social work. And one of the reasons that I did that is, one, I felt like God was leading me that way, right? But also is because when you look at the graduation rate and you see the students who graduate and how many of them go into their field. Very small. Yep. Very small. So all of these chemistry majors and poli-sci majors and all of this other stuff here. But when I started looking at other majors, especially sociology now, one of the things I would say is, no, I didn't take the 200 classes. I took 400 level classes. So you have to think about, plan this out. And I started to look at what that meant, and my minor in English, and then going further to get a master's in social work. And then the numbers started going up. Why? Because they were generalists. They could get a job anywhere. So the graduation rate and then the employment right after graduation went from here to here. That made sense to me. And so that's something I also want you to do when you're thinking about the work that you want to do, that you're dreaming to do, that you're thinking about doing. Are you here or are you here? Does it make sense to everybody else? Or does it make sense to you? So I finished my master's in social work, and then I went right back to Louisiana Tech, and they hired me to do a program called Louisiana Campaign for Tobacco-Free Living. And I did low socioeconomic status communities, health and wellness coalitions with its focus on tobacco cessation. And then UTA brought me here, and I took UTA Campus Smoke Free. And I said, I love working in the university system. I love writing grants, but I don't want to do it for the university. I went back to the nonprofit world, and for Mental Health America, I took over their military program, which is Operation Healthy Reunions, because my background was mental health, and I loved it. But I said, there's got to be something else. There's something missing. And so what was missing was, where could I go to find all the resources that I needed to do my job, right? And we didn't have that. So I said, what am I good at? I'm good at bringing people together. That's what I'm good at. And so I said, okay, so we have the Veterans Coalition of North Central Texas. We are the largest now in the state of Texas. We have 85 organizations under us, all the way from the federal government down. And I say that, I mean that. They've come down. The Pentagon has come down. They've asked me to go to the Pentagon. Who would have ever thought that the Pentagon would call me and say, can we bring some people to your meeting? I'll never forget, I was at brunch with my girlfriends, and we're good, we're having a good time, and my phone rings, and I recognize it, and I was like, am I crazy? I said, is that the Pentagon? And my girlfriend was like, girl, the Pentagon is not calling you. And I pick up the phone, and it's the Pentagon. I said, shut up. And I pick up the phone, I put my professional voice on, because we have that. And they said, hey, Nekima. I said, well, hi, such and such, what's going on? Well, we want to come down. We want to bring some people from North Carolina to your anniversary meeting in August. Wow. It blew me away. And so they came down, and I found myself sitting in an amazing meeting, but afterwards we had a private meeting. So I had my big meeting where everybody was at, and then afterwards, we went down the long hall to the Oval Room. I was like, this is crazy. And so sitting in here, we had the Pentagon, we had the Joint Chiefs, we had the Bush Center, we had the Army. I mean, it was crazy. And my board, and we're sitting there, and these are, generals in the room. And I'm walking in, and I'm like, what in the world am I doing here? What am I supposed to say to them? And you find that in your job, right? You find that in your careers. And if you're in that position, you're in a good position. You're in a great position, because if your company, whether it's a for-profit or nonprofit, and everything that you do is easy and you're like, oh, I got this, it's not big enough. So I walk into this room and they're talking, and I'm sitting here like, what am I supposed to say? So I just started praying. Okay, Lord, tell me when to jump in. Tell me when to jump in. Let's go. And this is something I do every time. Tell me when to jump in. And he said, okay. And I was waiting, and I'm just letting them talk, and I said, hello, everyone. Ready to call the meeting to order. I'm calling a meeting to order. And they stopped, and I ran the meeting. It was absolutely ridiculous. I was sweating up a storm, and I have no idea what I said at all. But they supported me, and they loved me. Why? Because one of the things they do, they see my passion. And they see my passion, and I knew my field. I knew what I was talking about. I may not have served 38 years as one of my board members, Major General Williams, but what I did know is serving my community. And so yesterday, I talked about knowing your business. So that's just a little bit about me. Here I am. We have the coalition. We've been 9 years. We meet every single month. We average about 65 a month to our meetings on a regular basis. Our largest meeting, we have 141 people. They can get very massive. But sometimes my people like when it's small like this, because we can get intimate. So you are all welcome to come. So who's ready to work today? Who's ready to work? because this is actually a training. I'm gonna walk you through how to build what you wanna build, okay? So y'all ready? Okay, so what do we have in here? First of all, are my veterans in the room? Veterans, thank you. Am I female veteran? We love our female veterans, yes? And then here, thank you so much for your service. Okay, so who wants to start a nonprofit? 2? And who wants to start, kinda? She's like, I don't know. And who wants to start a for-profit? Okay, so we're gonna talk about both today. So on a nonprofit, who has a name for their nonprofit? Come on up. Oh, we're working today. We're starting.
Workshop, right?
Workshop. So you have 2 minutes to tell us your pitch. Introduce us to your company.
My name is Cassandra. I have a nonprofit called In Spirit and in Truth Ministries. It is to teach about worship and to mentor young girls.
Okay.
Did I make 2 minutes?
8 seconds. Have a seat. It's okay. Who is my for-profit? Don't be scared now. For-profit. Come on up.
And use this mic.
My name is Leora Coward. My name of my company is Learning Well Academy. We service students from 18 months to 6 years old, getting them ready for school and beyond school. Our center, we are bilingual. We do cooking. We really service the whole child. And there's a great need for great quality early education, and that's what we do. That's all I got.
Give him a hand. That's nerve-wracking. That's nerve-wracking. 22 seconds. That is nerve-wracking, right? It can be terrifying. So as we get started today, one of the things I want you to take out, because I want you to take notes. What is the first instruction that I gave them? How long?
2 minutes.
When you have 2 minutes, take the 2 minutes. Take the 2 minutes. So what if I'm standing here and I say, I have $100,000 to give you, you have 2 minutes? Well, you just missed it.
I know.
You just missed it. 2 minutes, okay? So I want you to think about that as we go through this, okay? So what is Repo Chicks? I'm gonna walk you through what Repo Chick is, and that's gonna walk you through what you need to do. So Repo Chick, that is my alter ego. I started that years ago when I was in Louisiana, and I was a mentor and a speaker to young women and to teenagers. And one of the things that I learned is that a lot of them just felt lost. They felt stuck. And I say young women, but we partnered with a men's agency too. So it was ladies of vision and enlightenment and men of envision and enlightenment. I think that's what it was. But the point of it is really just helping them to recenter, find who they were, what they loved to do. And you had to do that at a young age. And I found that a lot of the young kids that I work with up to the adults, whether it was a man or a woman, they had always been told what to do. You've been told what you like. You've been told to go here. You've been told, my daughter, we told her she's gonna be a nurse. She loves kids. How do we know that? How many of her are guilty of that? Oh, you love that. She's gonna be a such and such when she grows up. Oh, you are a tall man. You obviously have to be a football player, right? That's what you're gonna be. So we put you in football. We do those kind of things, right? So on your company, whether it's a for-profit or nonprofit, write down the name of your company. That is number one. Think it into existence. So yesterday we talked about dreams. So what is it? If you don't know, I recommend that you start to just jot down names. And acronyms are amazing. We love acronyms. So Repo, R-E-P-O, let's start there. R is for repossess, take back. How many of you can look back over your life and you see where you gave away time, you gave away your happiness to a job, to a woman, to a man, to whatever the case may be, but take that back. Take back the things that make you smile. One of the hardest questions for me was, what do I like to do? And I would say, oh, my kids. No. You. What do you enjoy doing? How many of you can answer that? Without your children, without your church, without this is what I love to do. If I am in 4 walls, this is what makes me happy. People laugh at me all the time. I will go to the movies by myself. I will get dressed up and I will go to eat by myself. I enjoy me. I had to learn that though. So that's when you think about your what you want to do, your career. Do you enjoy it? Do you love what you do? Or are you doing it just for money, just to be seen, because that happens too, just for clout? Or do you love it? Would you do it for free? That's your next question. Would you do it for free? Some of your nonprofits will make you money. Some won't. Your for-profit, obviously it is for-profit, but do you love it? So repossess that thing that you gave away that just used to make you happy. Who has a song when they wake up or that during the day and they play that one song and they're like, woo, yes. Who has that song? When's the last time you listened to it? Think about that song. So that's R, repossess. I want you to think about that and write it down because we're going to come back to this. E, working in excellence in everything you do, no matter what. I love my garbage man. For some reason, he's happy when he picks up my garbage. He always has a good spirit, a good attitude. I tell my children that no matter what it is, work in excellence. Do it the best to the best of your ability when no one is looking. If you have to be motivated every day to do what you're supposed to be doing, you are in the wrong place. So think about these things when you start that nonprofit or you start that for-profit. Can you get up every day with juices flowing saying, this is what I want to do? Write that down. P, this is one of my favorites. Purpose, power, and position. Purpose. What is your purpose? Do you know it? If you don't, it's okay. I don't know, I don't know your faith, but pray to whomever you pray for. What is my purpose? One of the things that I tell people to help you with your purpose is to go back to the first thing. Will you do it for free? If you won't do that for free, that is not your purpose. Your purpose does not always bring money. What is your purpose? The next one is power. Know you are powerful. If someone would have told me before I was going to start a veterans coalition, the largest in the state of Texas, people calling me from all over the place. I've gotten calls from, like I said, Washington, Florida, DC. I mean, it's crazy. And then if they would have told me I was going to start a for-profit business with DNA paternity testing, I was like, no, I have no idea about that. But what I do know is how strong I am, how powerful I am. That's something my mother instilled in me, my father as well. Do you know how powerful you are? So how many of you get up in the morning or you've been out somewhere and the first thing you did was say, oh my God, I don't have that six-pack anymore. My hair ain't. And that's the first thing you do. Oh, I'm older now. The lady said yesterday, I'm too old. What? How many of you do that? Okay, don't tell them, just kind of go like that, right? So this is what I tell my children. This is what I tell the people that I work with or I consult with. So all of us have flaws, right? We all have areas that we're not good in. So one of the things that you did when you were speaking, you were like, as you were talking, let me ask you something. Have I ever met you? No. Do I know your business? No. Do I know what you want to do? No. So if you said something, how would I know it's wrong? Until you go, when you are doing a speech or a routine, nobody knows your routine. If you're supposed to go left and you went right, just keep going right. Keep going right. Nobody knows. That was your solo moment. Don't worry about it. I got it. Okay? So you have to know that. So what I want you to do is focus on how powerful you are. Work on the things that you know you're weak at. If you're not organized, you know you're messy. Stop. Get some help. Acknowledge it. But don't tell everybody. And if your car is messy, don't offer anybody a ride. You ever get in the car with somebody like, hold on, girl. Stop doing that. But you know you're good at this. Focus on that. I am really good over here, but now I'm going to work in silence on what I'm not good at. That's how you know your power. Be strong over here, work on what's weak, okay? Position. Know your position. Know when it's time to stand out front and when it's time to pull back. That is a flaw. You don't always have to be seen. I remember the first year of my nonprofit, we did this big financial education seminar. We had Holly Petraeus come down. How many know who Holly Petraeus is? She is General Petraeus' wife. How many know General Petraeus? His wife. This woman is little, and she talks like this. She goes, how you doing? And she goes, and most of the time I found myself going, I had no powerhouse. This woman, her husband had nothing on her. Powerhouse. So General Petraeus' wife is there. The media has come. We are downtown at the Sheraton. I'm like, this is crazy. This is awesome. She came. She responded to me, right? And so everyone's coming up and saying, you need to get on camera. You need to get on camera. Why in the world would I get on camera and Holly Petraeus is here? I have my board here. So know your position. I don't need everybody to know that I'm the founder or the president and get up front and talk for myself. Shut up. Go in the corner. Go up and tell Ms. Petraeus, would you please? So now Ms. Petraeus is saying, Nekima and the Veterans Coalition. Hello. Know your position. That is such a flaw when I meet people and, well, I need to be up front. They need to see me. You're not ready. Know your position. It's so critical. I had a 3-star Marine general on my board. Do they want to hear me or do I want them to see this 3-star Marine general? Know your position. It's so critical. It's so critical. Okay? Oh, others. Other women. This is for women, but it's for men too. Once you get to those places, you have to turn around and help others get there. So that's what Repo is. So chicks, CHICS. This is what I want you to think about. C, changing helplessness and hopelessness into creativity and success. That's what chicks is. Changing. The first thing you have to do is the changing of the mind. All these things sound really simple, but who can admit they have struggled with these things? You have to get out of, I can't, I don't have the time, I don't have the money. As I said yesterday, I spent $28 starting the coalition 9 years ago of my own money. And I'm really mad about that $28. For 9 years, somebody has sponsored my meeting every single month. And we don't eat sandwiches and chips. We eat good. We eat good. They come because they love the fact that I work in excellence. Have you ever been to your job and you have just went in and they came and was like, okay, great job. And you're like, well, hey, not even a pat on the back. I know it's your job, but sometimes it feels good for somebody to say, you know what, you did that. Let me reward you. So the coalition for me is my chance. So all of us that get up every day to service other people, it is hard to help other people because sometimes you don't want to help them, you want to slap them, right? You be like, you know what? But it takes a special person to get up every day and say, I'm going to go and serve you. My house ain't all the way together. Matter of fact, I don't know how I'm going to pay my light bill this month, but I'm going to help you buy your own light bill. That's hard to do, right? I'm telling you about all these resources and my wife getting on my nerves. My kid is about to drive me crazy, but here you are in my office and I got to help you, right? It's a mindset. You have to change your mindset. So I want you to think about that. With your company that you want to do, whether it's a for-profit or a non-profit, what is your mindset about it? Yesterday, I talked about being emotional. And that's not just for the women, that's for the men too. Getting into especially the nonprofit side, but business too, you got to kick that emotion out the door because they will test you. They will try you. Can someone control you that quick by making you mad? And now you done snapped off. Think about that. So changing your mindset. H, hopelessness and helplessness. Have you ever been in a position where you're just like, I don't know what to do. I'm tired. You just kind of feel hopeless. Helpless. I don't have any money. I don't know anybody. I'm tired. Have you ever felt like that? And something I talked about yesterday is it's being okay to admit that, right? You can admit that. Now, you can't tell everybody. So you had to have discernment and know who to talk to. Into creativity and success. To be an entrepreneur, you have to be creative. What is your field? So what do you want to do? For-profit or nonprofit?
Mine will be for-profit.
For-profit, what is it?
So I'm currently working on a eye patch line.
You're working on it?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
To tell you more, okay, so I'm working on an eye patch line. I recently had a cornea transplant. And so due to lightning, sometimes my eyes are kind of all over the place. So I have to wear an eye patch every now and then. What I noticed was when you go and buy an eye patch, they're just real like plain, right? So I'm working on a really dope eye patch line that is more like if you're going out on a town, you have to put on a suit. It can be more of a classy look versus just like a big black eye patch over your eye. So that's kind of what I'm working on, and I wanted to target all audiences.
Creative, right? Creativity, you're right. You can put, from shingles, girl, we want some shingles, we want some bling, we want some, jazz it up. You got red?
Not yet.
I might wear red. My eyes are just fine, but you come up with a red eye patch. Creativity. Turn that into success. Yeah. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. Changing hopelessness and helplessness into creativity and success. So what does that mean? So that's Repo Chicks, everyone. And that's what I want you to think about as you go through building your company. So now, because you have to think about what makes me different. Yesterday we talked about in the field. Eye patch is not new. Pirates wore eye patches, right? But what's your niche? Why is your niche better? And be prepared, people, that once you come out with your idea, somebody's gonna come out right behind it. So now what? Now what? You have to be creative. You have to always stay on your toes. Know what's going on. Know what's in your field. Know what's out there. If you don't know the field that you want to go into, you're not ready. If you have not went and found 10 other businesses or somebody that's doing what you're doing, then you're not ready. There's no way you can be prepared to win this game if you don't know who your opponent is. So who makes eye patches? What they look like? How are they put together? How much are they? What's the quality? Is it leather going to irritate my eye? So you got to make sure yours is allergenic, or what's it called? Hyperallergenic. I said that, Okay, so I want you to think about that. So for those of you who have started your businesses, have you started? Have you filed? So you have your LLC and you have your 501c3.
I do not have the 501c3.
You do not. Do you have yours? You have your S Corp. So do you have your 501c3? Nope. Who in here has a 501c3? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. And what have you done with it? Do you really know what that means to have a 501c3? Let's talk about that. There's no difference in a for-profit and nonprofit except for how you file your taxes. At the end of the day, they both need money. Understand that. And please get out of your head that having a nonprofit means you cannot make money. That's not what nonprofit means. In your nonprofit business, it is about how you impact the community. When you think about Repo Chicks, how do when you get to R all the way to S, how have you impacted the community? Grants are for nonprofits. However, there are some grants for for-profits, but you have to do research, and it has to have an impact on the community. But typically, a grant is for a nonprofit. Okay, so if you're wanting to start a business, your first thing is what? With the state, Secretary of State. How many do you know? How much does it cost to file your paperwork? $300. How many of you have $300? Don't raise your hand. If you're thinking in your head, I don't have $300. I've been there. What do you do? Call and ask. Know who to call. I would say don't call that one person for the whole 300. Unless you know that got it, but don't. I need 100 from you. I need 100 from you. I need 100 from you. It's easier to get $100 from 3 people than it is to get 300 from one person. And tell them, look, I'm gonna pay you back. I don't know when, but I'm gonna pay you back. Whatever it takes. Get that $300 file. How much does it cost then what's your next step? Tell me your next step.
No, you need to file that DBA with the whatever county that you're in.
EIN. You need your EIN number. You can literally have that within an hour. Online.
At most, right?
Online. You file your LLC online or whatever, with your state online. 24 hours. EIN is next. Okay? So next is, now you're ready for federal. So now you're ready for your 501c3. It takes work. It takes work. It does. So if you have partners, you have to start getting your paperwork in line. How many of you have written out a 2-page executive summary? A 2-page executive summary. If you don't have that for your business, that's number one thing you have to do right now. 2 pages. If you cannot explain in writing what your company is in 2 pages, it's too much. You're not ready. I've even got mine down to a 1-pager. My boss taught me that, the gentleman, El Dante Osborne, I love him to this day. He was a director at the Boys and Girls Club. He's the first person that ever told me about grants. I talked about him yesterday. I used to come turn this report. I'm like, yes, I got a book. Hey, Lisa, I'm not reading that. What? But, Nekima, go 2 pages. 1.5. And I was like, I can't. I had an elaborate write-out about what I did. I am not reading that, Nekima. I was hurt because I had everything in there. And you think about it, who has time to sit and read that? When I work with my veterans and they talk about their resume, take all of that foolishness out of there. Because what they're doing now, a lot of them, they run it through a scanner. And they're looking for certain words. All that extra stuff, well, people don't understand. When you apply for a job, that application, the goal is to eliminate you first, not to hire you. If they have 50 applicants, they're looking, what is the fastest way I can get it down to 20? Start eliminating. So on there they say, what's your daytime number, your morning, day, and evening, right? How many just put 1 number? Like for daytime, you leave the rest blank. How many of you done that? That's why your resume got kicked out. Something that simple. Follow directions. Fill in every blank. Even if it's the same number, fill in every blank. Clifton said yesterday, who was here yesterday? Yeah, Clifton said yesterday, tell me your name and why you're here. It was a disaster. They did everything but that. It was advertisement city. Boy, they gave commercials. Stop. Follow directions. Your name and why you're here. If this paperwork says fill this out, fill out everything. So when you go to fill out that paperwork, be ready. You need to have your bylaws. You need to have your articles of incorporation. You need to have your board members. You need to have this stuff in line. You need to have your hierarchy, your business hierarchy. If you don't have a team yet, fill in progress, in progress, in progress. Understand you need different people on your team. One of the biggest mistakes that I find is that people gravitate to people that are like them. That's why your business is failing. People gravitate to people that look like them. That's why your business is failing. Because there's other people that can get into spaces you can't. Just like they can't get into spaces you can. So think about that when you're putting your business together. Find someone that does not look like you, does not run in your circle, does not know what you know. You need a creative person. You need an implementer. You need an analyzer. You need a presenter. Everybody can't be on the creative team. Somebody has to stay in the office and just do research. Somebody has to find every company that has patches. You don't have time for that. You have to find someone to fit in every team, every point of your business. What does that look like? If you know that you're not really ready to go out and speak in front of people, go and partner with someone who's not afraid of speaking. But you won't got your other shy homegirl. Both of y'all sitting there looking at each other, nobody want to talk. That's not going to work. Men, my alpha males, I'm an alpha female. Don't go get another alpha male and y'all bumping heads. Because, well, brother, you should have let me do that. Well, I was going to handle it. Well, you. And in the meantime, I've come around and I've scooped up your contract. Yes. Find people who have other skills that you don't have. I'm not going to say his name because it hurts my heart. He sits up there in Washington, D.C., but he does have a quote. And he says, I am the smartest person in the room. I am the smartest person in this whole room. Why? Because I've surrounded myself with people who are all smarter than me and with different skill sets. And kind of Clifton did it, but really, because y'all saw my name, so not him, it's me. But because of that, because I've gathered all of you in here, and we're talking about business now, I knew I was not smart enough to do this on my own. So we bring everybody together, now we have a mega mind, right? So surround yourself with people who have skills other than yours, who have mindsets, and find someone who can challenge you. Stop hanging around yes ma'am, yes sir people. If it's right after they challenge you, then you're good to go. But now if you stuck and you angry and you just go, you know what, man, I know what I'm doing, shut up. You're not ready. Have you ever been there? You kind of lost the battle, but you just be like, you know what, whatever. But you know you lost. Find someone who challenges your thought pattern for your company. Why is that important? So we have, what's the name of your company?
This is gonna be dope.
Come on up. You have 2 minutes.
So hello everyone, my name is George Sloan. Just a little bit about me. About 6-7 months ago, I got a bad eye infection from my contact, which then caused me to have a cornea transplant. So if anyone in the room that wear contacts, I would highly recommend, if the doctors say they're daily, take them out daily, however. So after I had my cornea transplant, it left me with a little bit of a lazy eye, and also lightning every now and then bothers my eye. So I sat still wearing an eye patch. One evening I had a really nice event to go to, dressed up, had a black tux on, tie, and I had this big eye patch on my eye. We went to the event, got home, looked at the pictures, hated all of them. Because the eye patch was huge. I felt like it took away from my whole presence, my whole everything. So I thought about it overnight, and I was like, what can I do to make this opportunity the next time more dope? So I came up with this amazing idea to create an eye patch line with the name called Dope. I wanted to target all areas, all genders, all ethnicities. I wanted to target anyone who wanted to wear it for just look, but also those that really just wanted to wear it because it was a need and necessity for them to have. So I came up with this amazing idea, and so I'm in the works of working with different fabrics, different looks, different everything to kind of just get it out there and push it. So that's my line, and it's called Dope by G. It'll be LLC. We're starting as a DBA, and then I'll convert to an LLC.
You done?
That's it.
All right.
How long did I was almost there.
1:34.
Okay.
So let's talk about this. Good job. Good job.
You never
One-
did 2 minutes was such a long time.
Oh, those 2 minutes last long. You're like, Lord. You're like, okay. So let's go over a few things, because this is what I want you to think about, okay? Because you need to get in the mirror and you need to pitch yourself. How many of you got in the mirror? You need an introduction for yourself and an introduction for your company. How many of you have that? Whoa, get one. 2 minutes, time yourself. Record yourself so you can see how you look. Your facial expressions say so much. When you do, people say, oh, that's that. When those shoulders go up, when you go, you don't notice those things. Record yourself. Record how you look, okay? And listen to yourself. So let's talk about a few things. One thing that he did really well is he opened up with a story. Open up with a story when you're pitched. People connect to things that they can feel, just like they give money to people they like. I talked about yesterday going to a meeting. So we had 3 huge meetings with the coalition. January is one of my biggest meetings. It's my first of the year strategic meeting. It's a huge meeting. It's an expensive meeting. So typically I have regular partners who take certain meetings. So this partner's up in Garland, and I was taking my intern with me. And the meeting it was scheduled to last really 30 minutes, maybe 15, 30 minutes probably. I wouldn't even say that much. Why are we driving all the way to Garland for this meeting? Can't you email them? Can't you send them the paperwork? Hush, 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 I got a plan here. So we get in the meeting, we spend 35 minutes chopping it up. We haven't talked one bit about this meeting. 35 minutes. 35 minutes. We got to the meeting part, the business part, took 15 minutes. We were done. And he's looking at me like, and she goes, oh, by the way, Nekima, I wanted you to know we have now put your company in our annual budget. That's why I drove. Well, I said, really? Oh. An email cannot do that. People give money to who they like. Be likable. Be presentable. Take the time to drive to wherever it is. Meet them. Talk to them. Say, how are you doing? Find something you can relate to. So I've never had an eye issue, but people automatically thought about something that happened to them that made them a little insecure about going out now. A little, worried about how I look in this dress. I had twins, man. Those twins tore me up, little suckers. Tore me up. So now I'm like, man, I don't really look like I used to look. And twins kind of changed some things. So that was in my head. Nobody else really knew about it. So start off with a story, because we all had that time where something made us feel, or we looked at our pictures and we didn't like. So that was very good. Start off with a story. Start off with a story. Okay? But don't stay on it too long. Hit that story quick and move on. So one of the things you need to talk about next is you have that story. Why is that important? Because of how it made you feel. So what'd you do? Now what's the solution? Because here's the problem. I could not find anything that matched my tux. That's your problem. This is what you need to be thinking about for your businesses. Now what's your solution? My solution is I'm going to create some dope eye patches, right? So I'm going to challenge you though. If I'm looking for an eye patch, would I Google dope?
Well.
You don't have to answer that.
Oh, okay.
I want you to think about it. Your name is critical. It's critical. It has to say what you have. If I'm looking for eye patches, I'm not putting in dope. Whatever your business is, you want people to look for it easy. Something just brought it to my attention like epiphany the other day. Nekima, your name is too long. So when I started my for-profit, it is your executive concierge, because I provide a lot of services where we will come out to you, right? But my baby was at DNA and paternity testing. But my website is your executive concierge. And I'm thinking, well, that sounds dope to me. And he said, no, it's too long. It's too long. So we're switching it. Helix check. Quick and simple. Helix check. That helix is that DNA strand, that symbol, right? So one of the things I didn't notice, he said, look at all of your top Google searches. Yahoo, Google, Facebook. At the most 3, Instagram, Snapchat. Quick. Usually 2 syllables, if you can snap. But okay. Black folks, with all these names, your name is 5 syllables. It ain't just us anymore. Other ones, they got them long names too. Get out of that mindset. I know that's that creative. We're creative, right? But you think about that. The most successful are 1 and 2 syllables. How many of y'all noticed that? I didn't think about that. But Yahoo, Google, quick. So when you're thinking about your name, you need to think about that. Okay? And then also, if someone had to do a quick search on my company, what would they find?
Dope. Oh,
So if I need an eye patch, I go Google dope. So you have to find, if you love dope, that's okay, but now you have to find a way to incorporate in your eye patches. Dope. I wear for the fly.
You would charge me for the name.
No, so this is what you have to think of. That's that creativeness. Find a way. You can stick with your name. And sometimes you have to find a way to let it go. I know when my consultant, he told me we're changing the name, I was like, why? I paid for the website already. I got my email set up. Like, why you want to do that? Because it's better, it makes sense. Get your emotions out of it. This is business. My industry in 2017 was a $17 billion industry. In 2024, it will be $22 billion. You think I'm not gonna change my name? Is it gonna help me? 2%, I just need 2% of that money. Yeah, we're gonna change this name, let's go. Be willing to get your emotions out of things and move forward. So when you're thinking about your name, what does it say to people? And if it doesn't say, if your name doesn't automatically make me think of eye patches, figure out a way to make it do that, okay? So now you have filed your 501c3. What is next? What is next?
Is that after you filed it?
You filed it. You got your 501c3, you ready to go. You got your business, you got your LLC, you got your for-profit, you ready to go. What's next?
An account?
Your marketing? Nope, business account.
Okay.
Little steps. Business account. You're legit when you have that business account. Yes, now marketing. You have to have a website. Everybody wants a website. For-profit or nonprofit. Make your website easy. My veterans, 3 clicks. We call it 3 clicks and I'm out. If I can't find what I need in 3 clicks, I'm out for your website. No one's gonna read a book. Bullets. Boom, 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 hit it. Boom, boom, boom. Simplify your plan. And how many of you have programs? So if you have a for-profit or a nonprofit, it doesn't matter. You have to write down your program. Go back to elementary school. What does this mean? Who, what, when, where, why, and how? It's that simple. Who, what, when, where, why, and how? If you can't answer that for your company, you're not ready. So when it comes to funding, there's resources. I'm gonna start with the nonprofit side. On the nonprofit side, I would say start with foundations, okay? Foundations are your local, it's easiest that way to get money. Because a lot of nonprofit organizations or foundations won't give you anything till you're at least 3 years old, 2 to 3 years old, unless you are just that good. So you have to have your program written down, whether it's a nonprofit or for-profit, write it down, make it clear. I'm just gonna keep on harping on him. So when you think about that, right now everything is green, everything's organic. You have to make sure when they see that automatically. My eye patch is earth-friendly, it's this, it's that, it's whatever. When you're thinking about your nonprofit, so when you go and you look at foundations, you have amazing foundations. Communities Foundation of Texas. Google them. Absolutely amazing. Community Foundations of Texas. You can Google foundations in the DFW area. It'll give you a list. Some of them have seed money. Be prepared because they do not pay salary. That is the hardest thing to get, is to pay for a salary. So be prepared. But a lot of them will give you seed money to get started. But you have to have your program on point. 2 pages. Have your finances on point. This is something that people forget to do. In kind, do you know what in kind is? Donations. Volunteering is also in kind. How many know the rate for volunteer hours? Who knows it? $25. 15. And I think it might have gone up. If someone comes, which if you're not getting paid for your company yet, you're a volunteer. Record your hours. Every hour is $25 and I think it's 15 cents, something like that. That goes into your budget. Build your budget. Thank you. So you have to record everything. That helps your budget. Because people also want to see, foundations don't want to be your primary funder. So you have to find a way to make your budget look like you got a little bit of money. I don't care what it is. They gave you brand new pens. Thank you. Somebody sent me a check I got 2 checks, $2, and the other one was $3.95. Boy, I skipped to the bank so happy. It's more than zero. And that is in my budget. I got a donation of $2, and I got a donation of $3.95. The one for $3.95 really hit my heart. She wrote a letter. She had a for-profit. She really didn't do well in running it. She said, we're closing our doors. This is our last piece of, our last funding for my company. And she sent it to me. I have no idea who this woman is. That's amazing. So that $395 is just as important as any other thing, okay? So when you do your budget, be realistic. No, you cannot start off making $80,000. You cannot. So be prepared. Write your budget down and put all your income in there. A chair, a furniture, anything that you have, a building, anything that is given to you, that get a price for it. Quantify everything. That's your budget. And state in kind on there, okay? So then your budget. When you're applying for these grants, show where the majority of your money is going to your program. And then what you do is you go and hustle for it. So now you get to keep that money in there, and it's okay. If people say, you know, hey, if you can, I'll give you $500 for these books. You know, if you can find them, okay, I call and let's make a deal. If those books say $500, but I can talk you down to $250, boom, I'm talking you down. Never be afraid to ask. So get your budget together. Get your 2-page executive summary. Get you board members. Your board members cannot be your friends and family. I'm sorry. Nope. They cannot be your friends and family. Find you a mentor. Find someone who's doing what you're doing and get them on your team. Ask questions, whether it's nonprofit or for-profit. Okay, so you're starting with foundations. You can literally Google, but Communities Foundation is amazing. I'm going to send to Clifton. He has an email of all of you all. I'm going to send a list. I started last night, but I have a few more. I'm going to send a list out for you guys that have some small grant funding of up to $5,000, $10,000 to get you started. One of the things that was so instrumental for me is I started with low-hanging fruit. Don't jump out there thinking about to go get $100,000 or even $50,000. What you need to know about nonprofit organizations is staying under $25,000 keeps the ask in the room, meaning they can make a local decision right then and there. When you go over $25,000, now the board has to make an executive decision and you're competing against big dogs. I learned that the hard way. Stay under $25,000 to get yourself established, okay? For my for-profit companies, use your resources. Bill J. Priest Center, absolutely amazing. They have free classes all the time. And what I would also recommend, if you are a for-profit, get registered with the city's procurement office. They need you'd be amazed. The county procurement office. Every city has a procurement office where they have to put out bids and they need services. They're trying to get a systemized application process, but right now you have to register with each different procurement office. Do that. You never know what they need. They tell you that all the time. They need all kinds of stuff. Register, and it's free. It's free. And Bill J. Priest can help you with that if you have a service to offer. But even your nonprofits, my nonprofit is registered too, because sometimes like DISD, they need in-kind services to come in and you have to teach or give a after-school program, or people don't know about Title II money. It's money out there. So you need to go, once you have your for-profit and nonprofit.
I heard about Title II. Can you just kind of refresh my memory?
A little bit. So Title II has a bucket of money that the school can spend on outside resources. And usually the principals or those over it hold on to it so tight. At the end of the year, they got a bucket. Now they got you want to be that. But you have to have a program. And you never know what they need. There's a kid there who's struggling. They have an eye issue or something. So I want you to think about that, okay? So those are some tips you have to get started. But just talking to the room, I don't want to go too much further because I'm not sure if you guys are there yet. So once we get to that next level, maybe Clifton will have me back and we'll talk about that next step of really writing a grant. But you have to get yourself organized and prepared to write a grant. You have to have your business plan on point before we can get you to this next part. Okay? So the amazing part, I didn't take any loans for my for-profit, but I just had my first deposit the other day of $30,000 into my account. Yeah. It wasn't in my personal account, but that's okay. It's coming. But no loans. How do you do that? So if you'll have me back, maybe I can teach you guys that next level because there's steps. There's steps. Go through each step, okay? And that's all. I hope this was helpful to you all today. Are there any questions? No questions?
I do.
Time to ask, but the question you have, somebody else has as well. So any questions, open up.
Oh, I love it. Since you asked first, I'm going to give you a gift. So, he said I was like Oprah the other day. You get a card. No, you don't. But you get a wallet. You get a wallet. So I'm going to do some promotion here. One of the things I want to tell you about is so important to love and to support other organizations. And when you just do your work, they will come to you. So one of my biggest sponsors, I love him. He just found me. It's Bryker Hyde. He's a veteran, and they do handmade leather products. They are amazing. So he's been with me now just over a year. Can you take it out and show your lovely wallet? Look at that. Yes. So red is my favorite color. So we have, here, you can show. Thank you for asking your first question. But he is one of my biggest sponsors. And, he gave me these to give away when I'm doing any kind of event. I mean, I have literally a garage full of these. Thank you. You want sponsors like that. But that's because also I keep him involved. Engage your sponsors. They need to like you. Okay? So show everybody, then ask your question. Oh, you have black. Go rip that paper. She's trying to be all cute. Aren't those beautiful? Okay, so what's your question?
I want to know if you would be kind enough to just summarize again the steps that we had, filing with the Secretary of State and $300, put it kind of in an order so we'll make sure.
Sure. So the first thing you should do is file with your Secretary of State. Okay? $300. $300. Regardless of how you're going to file. It's $300. After that, get your EIN. All this can be done online. Now, you can always call me for a fee, and I'll do it for you.
What's your fee?
We'll talk about that. Rule number 2, don't ever tell your prices out loud.
That's right.
I'll talk to you one-on-one, because you never know what their needs are. Okay? But I will tell you, my hourly rate starts at $150. Okay? So, EIN number. EIN number, right? So after you do your EIN number, if you're on a nonprofit side, so then you want to go next, you have to be prepared for your 501c3. But understand when you go to do your 501c3, you have to have a lot of things in order. Your articles of incorporation, your bylaws, you have to have all those things in line. And so you can go pull the application and look and see everything you have to get prepared. Okay? Okay. Because you came the furthest. Okay, question.
You mentioned that we should get a mentor, and that's something that's been on my mind. What are your suggestions in getting that mentor?
Absolutely.
What to look for, what to ask, what to expect.
So first of all, a mentor does not have to be the person in your field. Now, I do recommend you go find someone who's doing something. They don't have to have built what you built, but if they built a company that has a product that they sell, go talk to them. Sit down and volunteer. The biggest thing I tell people, how do you expect people to show up for you and you won't show up for them? Go and volunteer. Go to these events, these free events. Go and call a company and say, I see you're having an event this weekend. Can I come volunteer? If it's a for-profit, hello, this is my name. Would you mind if I come and shadow you for a week? Can I come? They might say no. Okay, call them back 2 days later. Hi, I called you Monday. Okay, thank you. Call them back Friday. Hi, I called you Wednesday. Yes. But do your research on them. I have amazing mentors. So you want to find mentors who have done what you want to do. That doesn't mean they did the exact same thing, but they've started a business. They've started a nonprofit. You need to find that, okay? And be comfortable. Get comfortable with someone that does not look like you. A male, younger, older, white, Hispanic, whatever the case may be. If they have knowledge about how to get this money, how to financially be secure, I want time. You're working for time, your freedom of time. That's what you're working towards. Get a book. If you have not read a book, you want Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Who has read that book? Get it, read it again, and read it over and over. Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki.
Have the game.
Oh, yeah, yes. Okay, next question.
Do you use mentoring and coaching kind of interchangeably?
Two different things. Two different things. So think of a coach. Literally, your coach is your kind of rah-rah. Oh, you know, I put you out there on the field, and I watch you for a little bit, and I come back, and you didn't do too good. Sit down, you go in for her. So that's kind of a coach. Oh, good, you know. But your mentor is someone you're calling, and they're walking you through. They are talking to you. They're saying, okay, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? This is what I did. This is what I learned. Now, don't be afraid to go through your steps. But it's very helpful when you have someone to mentor you through that. I would think a mentor, you spend more time with your mentor versus your coach.
And you can also get a mentor at SCORE.
Absolutely. SCORE is a great resource. SCORE is a free resource.
I have a question. So on the nonprofit side, for people who are interested in going the service route, for whatever it may be, socioeconomic deals or whatever the case is, how would you say people deem your credibility? So in my situation, I haven't started anything yet, but I think I always kind of beat myself up because I'm like, oh, I'm not there yet. I don't have enough experience in the field. And sometimes I feel like that can be a hindrance if you get into it. So I don't know how I'm trying to ask the question. But
Okay, I'm going to stop you because I think I know. So how would I know that you don't have the experience in the field? How did I know? Why would you tell me that? Stop telling people what you can't do off the bat. Stop telling people what your weaknesses are off the bat. Remember the C? Change your mindset. What are you good at? Start with that. What are you good at? But we have a habit of that, right? And then we don't want to boast. We don't want to, brag on yourself. You better learn how to say, yes, I did that. Because they want to know that's your work history. Don't lead off of what you don't know. But your program is number one, whether it's a for-profit or nonprofit, it doesn't matter. Write your program down. Write your philosophy down for your business, for your for-profit. If you are in financial services, what makes your financial services so good? You have to think about those things. So write your program down. It's all about your program. If you're a nonprofit, you are your product. You're selling your product. I don't have anything I can sell with the coalition. I sell my program. That's what has to be so tight. On the for-profit side, you have something that you want them to buy. Okay, what makes that? What makes that good? We're your product. You should have walked in here with a patch. If you're going to a networking meeting and you know some entrepreneurs in there, I'm changing my patch every 5 minutes. You are your own marketing. You are the first line of marketing, and guess what? You're free. Okay? Your program. Tighten that program up. Any other questions?
So I have Cassandra O as my business, which is my first name and initial of my last name.
Okay.
And then I have the In Spirit and Truth Ministries, the nonprofit. I have a program that I developed for, it's called Kingdom Preparatory, just helping the youth with identity, confidence, all that. But I struggle with imposter syndrome, one.
What syndrome?
Imposter.
What's that?
Like what she was saying. I'm not experienced enough, or it's imposter syndrome. It's an imposter.
Everyone has that, but you don't have to tell everybody. You don't have to tell everybody. Do you walk into a job interview saying, look, I really don't know how to do your program, but hire me anyway?
Yeah. But I've tested the program in like the girls juvenile detention center. So how do you, I know you just said that the product would be the business, you're selling it. But then how would I incorporate it in the nonprofit to do mentoring for the girls?
So if you have two, so this is a great question. So if you have a for-profit and nonprofit, you can have your nonprofit up under your for-profit. That way your for-profit company can feed into your nonprofit company. You need those tax write-offs, right? Okay? You need that, okay? So, but how does that work? Why? Because your for-profit may hire some of your nonprofit volunteers. I'll give you an example. So for my DNA company, right? It's for-profit. But I have a nonprofit that works with military, and we have an employment program. Who do you think I'm hiring? That also opens me back up now for funding because I'm an employer and I'm hiring veterans right through my company. But then also on the for-profit side, on the nonprofit side, I get to say in my employment program, I have 10 that have been hired to go out and do DNA testing. So you have to figure out how your for-profit and nonprofit can work together, how they can feed each other. But you can't put your nonprofit under your for-profit, okay? We're pushing on time, so
2 more questions.
Okay.
So, okay, like you said, you can have your for-profit and then your nonprofit be underneath that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know which one to start with first? Like, go for the nonprofit first or start with the for-profit first?
It's up to you.
It's up to you. So usually, I guess, is where you feel that you have the most leeway to get in.
I always tell people, start with what you're best with. Start with what you're best with. You can build your nonprofit first and then build a for-profit and put it under there. You can. Start with your strengths. Start with your strengths.
Do you keep it separate on your website?
Yes.
Nonprofit?
Yes. I do. Yes.
So who's going to bring up the last question? Who's asked the last question? If there's one.
I don't have a question, I just have a comment.
One of the things that I talked about first, follow instructions. So no comments right now. Last question.
Last question.
I don't know if you can answer him or not, but for the profit and nonprofit, if you have it up, but so I have a for-profit and I want to do a nonprofit to feed into to raise money for scholarship for students, right? For tax purposes, is that two different, or just business, those 2 different entities, and so when you file taxes, that they will not even?
No, because your for-profit gave to a nonprofit.
So it's 2 different entities?
Right.
Okay, that's my question.
Yeah, you're filing 2 different entities. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody.
Oh, I really, truly enjoy the speaker. She's knowledgeable, she's funny, she's energetic, but she's also a hard charger, and I just really enjoyed the things that she shared with us to learn, and I took away a lot of stuff from her. But I would really encourage you, if you have not participated in the Empower series, you should definitely come out because it is really, truly, it's like gold.
Hello, my name is Sherry, and if you were not here today, you missed something. So make sure that you register for the next Empower series. I have been so blessed yesterday and today to get some seed and some foundation from Dr. Nekima. She helped me realize that I want to do the Oprah thing. I want to have my nonprofit and my for-profit, and they can work together. She also instilled in me, have faith and confidence in yourself. So if you missed today, make sure you watch the replay. Make sure you go back and watch all of the series. And make sure that you RSVP for the next series until the end of the year. Empower series, thumbs up.
Hi, my name is Gwendolyn, and I attended the Empower series on yesterday at the Meadows Foundation, and I was so inspired by the speaker, Ms. Nekima Horton, as she talked about nonprofit and profit services, and I was just so motivated and amazed at all the tools and the resources that she talked about and the tips that you could use for those who are starting out in business or if you're already in business, and how you can start navigating and bringing those pieces into play. And so I wasn't planning on coming today for the Saturday meeting, but I was just so inspired that I had to move in an engagement to come and get more information. So I encourage you, if you're not familiar with the Empower series, please come and get educated and go on YouTube and look at all the wonderful series that they have out there. Don't miss it, because this will change your life and change your business.
This is Eric Butler with the Empower series, representing Comerica Bank. Nekima just gave a great session with us. One of the things that I always talk about is that we don't know what we don't know. And someone who's been around a lot of things, I learned some things today too. So really this is about moving, getting into action, and fulfilling some of those things that you want to accomplish. Whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a for-profit business, got great information. So I'm encouraging you to go and find the video online on YouTube. Go and subscribe to the Empower series and make sure that you get some of this information. And next time when we have the meeting, I hope to see you. Thank you.
Thank you for watching our Empower Series YouTube video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit the subscribe button below, as well as the little button to be notified the next time we upload our video. Until then, stay connected with us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever your social media flavor is. Inspire the world to thrive. See you soon.